Today's not a sunny day. It's actually a cloudy day, and it's about to rain. And I think it's symbolic of how the soul of this nation is feeling. There's a lot happening, but one thing I am clear about is that rain or shine, and I've been here on very, very cold days, cold or very hot days, I've been here on very hot days, we must always stand up for what is right, and we must always stand up for democracy. And so I am here today standing up stronger, more persistent, and more clear about why we were sent to Congress. My name is Delia Ramirez, and I represent Illinois' 3rd Congressional District, a district that is proudly diverse in every way, and the home to many immigrant families, whether they are from Venezuela, from Ukraine, from Central America, from Poland, from Mexico, Asian America, and Africa. And I'm also the proud daughter of Maria Elvira Ramirez and Luis Ramirez, 2 Guatemalan immigrants who sacrificed everything to give me the opportunity they never had. And today, their daughter is the first Latina in the entire Midwest serving in Congress. I stand here today in solidarity with all cities and states that understand that immigrants make our communities stronger, that immigrants every single day contribute to the economy of this country. And I stand with those that honor our interconnectedness, clear that our community institutions, our businesses, and our economies only thrive when everyone feels safe to show up to work, to send their children to school, and to patron their local businesses. You see, this is the heart of the issue. Strong, multicultural, multiracial communities are a threat to this administration and today's Republican Party. Cities like Chicago that prove that diversity, that equity, and that inclusion actually make America great. Chicago and Illinois are thriving communities. Chicago's economy is ranked 22nd in the world. And with the 5th largest in the country, Illinois is one of only 9 states whose taxpayers contribute more to the federal government than what they receive. Our state's taxpayers include thousands of immigrants, both documented and undocumented, and Illinois residents pay nearly $6 in taxes for every single dollar in direct support that they receive from the federal government. But today, my colleagues on the other side, Republicans, are using government oversight committee hearings to target cities like Chicago, cities like New York, cities like Boston and Denver that are standing strong against unconstitutional and illegal attacks by the Trump administration. Because they want to violate due process, because they want to undermine legal ordinances at the local level, and they want to hold hostage taxpayer dollars that belong to the people. And let me say to you loud and clear, there is nothing illegal about protecting every resident's constitutional right to due process, to education, and to equal treatment under the law. But it is illegal for the federal government to withhold tax dollars from cities and states for schools, for safety, for infrastructure, for shelter, and other things that we, Congress, have appropriated. Our communities will not be bullied into complying with their illegal, unconstitutional, authoritarian agenda. And today, it's our cities defending our laws. Tomorrow, it's cities defending healthcare, public schools, and the rights of our LGBT communities. And let me close off by reminding my colleagues that it is hypocritical to persecute cities and states that have passed laws within their legal rights and jurisdictions when Congress has neglected its responsibility to legislate on the issues that working people care about. What are those issues? Raising the minimum wage, creating more affordable housing, passing Medicare for all, and yes, comprehensive immigration reform that establishes legal pathways for the 11 million people who have contributed decades to our economies and our communities. We need to see this for what it is. This is an attack on the heart of resistance, and it's just the beginning. So folks, today, on this cloudy day, we need courage and we need hope for this moment. There are so many people resisting and fighting back, and I want you to know that we need you more than ever to stay strong and to know that as long as there are Congress people here who know what is right and will have the moral courage to stand up for our communities, stand up for our cities and states, we all are going to be all right. So with that said, it is my honor to introduce to you my colleague who is holding it down, just a couple miles from me, a little East Coast from me, my friend Rob Menendez from New Jersey.
Thank you. Well, it's great to be here with you. I want to thank Delia for bringing us all together, for her incredible leadership on all issues that matter to not just her district, not just to Illinois, but to the entire country, to a country that is made and full of immigrants who contribute every single day to our economy, to our communities. And Delia's voice is so important here in this moment, so thank you for all that you do. We're here today to talk about an issue that is clearly misunderstood and being weaponized by this administration. Sanctuary cities are a critical part of our nation's fabric. While Trump and Republicans want to vilify them and the people that call them home, the truth is they represent the values that make our nation what it is. Compassion, fairness, and community, a dedication to one another and to our neighbors. Sanctuary cities are not places where laws are ignored. Rather, they are communities that recognize the wrongful harm, pain, and anxiety that Trump and Republicans intend to inflict on immigrant families. I see it in my district, where I represent a wonderfully diverse community, where over 40% of the people that live there were born outside the country, and where early in the Trump administration we saw one of ICE's first raids. And so we know the way our community members feel. We know that there's an immense amount of fear. Children are not going to school. People are not accessing health care because they're worried about stepping out and leaving their homes. That's not the way anyone should feel, especially the people that have given so much to our communities. That's right. So let me be clear about something. The communities that we all are a part of are focused on ensuring that everyone, regardless of immigration status, is safe. Is safe. Isn't that something we should want for all Americans?
That's right. That's right.
That is the future that Democrats want to build towards, an inclusive future where regardless of your immigration status, regardless of what state you live in, you know you can be here safely. There is nothing illegal about protecting the right to due process. And together with my colleagues, we're going to make sure that's clear to our friends across the aisle. Delia and I serve on the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, where we are at the forefront of every challenge that is at the doorstep of our immigrant communities, and we will make your voices heard every single day. Together, we will not tolerate the Trump administration's attempt to break us down, to tell lies about immigrants, or to inflict fear and pain on our communities. We will stand with them, we'll stand with you all, and we'll stand together. Thank you so much, and with that, I would love to introduce Deirdre Schiffling from the ACLU.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Deirdre Schiffling. I'm the Chief Political and Advocacy Officer for the ACLU, and I'm proud to be here standing with all of you. Thank you for joining us here today. While Congress, voters, and even the media may disagree with each other on immigration, I think we can all agree that right now we are witnessing a dangerous moment in our nation's history. Our rights, our communities, and our democracy at large are under attack. President Trump is attempting to misuse his executive power to intimidate and coerce every entity that sits in any kind of opposition to him. He jokes about being a king, but he was not joking when he threatened to withhold federal funding to any localities that refuse to offer local resources to support the mass deportation of our immigrant neighbors and loved ones. And it's not just the Trump administration levying these threats. Trump's congressional cronies are eager to punish our communities, and today's Oversight Committee hearing is just the latest shakedown. Mayors in Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York City are here in D.C. to defend their cities, which, like so many others across the country, depend on federal funding, our tax dollars, for critical programs that keep our communities afloat. And Congress isn't stopping there. Soon the House will vote on H.R. 32, the so-called No Bailout for Sanctuary Cities Act, which the ACLU more accurately has renamed the Defund Our Communities Act. Under this harmful bill, jurisdictions across the country would be at risk of losing federal funding for unrelated programs, things like the National School Lunch Program, emergency Medicaid, domestic violence response, and infrastructure grants. The list goes on, simply because they refuse to surrender their local resources to carry out Trump's anti-immigrant obsession. H.R. 32 is so vaguely written that it leaves the door open to any federal funding being cut. The bottom line is this legislation threatens the independence of all state and local governments. Not to mention, this bill comes as local communities are already reeling from the Trump administration's reckless federal funding freeze. While the mayors of Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York City take the stage today, our Congress members must not forget that they pledged to represent the people, not President Trump's political agenda. And when our country's mayors and governors tell us that local resources are better used addressing local issues and local priorities rather than Trump's agenda, our leaders must listen. Robbing our communities of our taxpayer-funded programs does not make our communities safer, and it does not fix our immigration system. In last night's congressional address, President Trump declared that through his actions, common sense was becoming a common theme. But when we look at the attacks on sanctuary cities from both the administration and Congress, common sense is nowhere to be found. Cutting funding for critical programs that our communities rely on is not common sense. Forcing law enforcement to neglect local responsibilities and play the role of immigration agents is not common sense. So our message today to Congress is lead with real common sense and lead with courage. Stand up and protect our communities and our democracy from these attacks. Thank you so much. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Cherie Gibson. All right, from Alliance for Quality Education.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Cherie Gibson. I am a parent and an education advocate from New York City, representing AQE, the Alliance for Quality Education, and a proud member of the Journey for Justice Alliance. Today, I stand in the gap for public school families and parents who invest in our children and their futures every day, working hard to provide shelter, sustenance, and educational opportunities to improve their quality of life. I stand in the gap for the families who fear separation and deportation and do not have a leader like Mayor Johnson to protect their existence, dignity, and rights. I stand in the gap for the public school parents who will not go gently into that good night while they dismantle public education because a wannabe king and his ilk are terrified of the Browning gender expanding and economic improvement of this country. Can I tell you how I am built for this moment? Can I tell you how New York City, Chicago, Boston, Denver are built for this moment? As a daughter of immigrants, a parent of New York City public schools, high schooler, an auntie, a godmommy to a pre-K-er, a 3K-er, elementary and middle schooler, a mentor to high school and college students, a parent leader, and a business owner, I know how important high-quality education from 0 through 20 in New York City and the cities that I named is valuable. Education taught me to embrace my diverse experiences and to value the diverse contributions of others. Education taught me the power of opportunities and its ability to level the playing field. Education taught me the history of my city and how to appreciate and care for all New Yorkers. Education taught me the importance of diverse voices, standing up and being unapologetic in the faces of dragons, windmills, and wannabe kings. Education taught New Yorkers how to hold our elected leaders in Congress, statewide, and our city accountable, calling on them to show us what education taught you. Do you value and care about our children's future? Show us by investing in universal child care expansion and fully funding it to provide the predominantly women of color, and immigrant workforce thriving wages. Ensure education programs that work, such as community schools, the arts, and restorative justice programming, are sustained and increased, supporting equitable and affordable post-secondary educational opportunities. Do you value and care about immigrant families? Show us by protecting their rights through fair, common sense, and compassionate policies and legislation. Do you care about and value a robust New York City economy? Show us by funding fair, livable wages, supporting affordable and quality housing and food systems, and promoting anti-poverty and anti-discrimination legislation. Students, families, educators, community leaders, business leaders, the people of New York City, its strength and soul, will not be held hostage by any man or woman. We will not back down. We stand up, we fight back.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.